Last time on the Rate the Record podcast. The podcast will be going on hiatus for a bit, and I will actually let Savannah, you don't have to say everything right now, but I mean, this is more or less for you, so I will let you say a few words.
There are some things going on in my personal life that I need to address, and I need the time and space to address them. So Kris has kindly provided me with some time to do that, which means I have to stop doing the podcast for a short period of time. I don't want to give you a number because I honestly don't know when it is. It won't be too long, but I really need to address these things and make for a better me and make for a better podcast for you guys.
All right, so as you just heard in that previous clip that just played a second ago, that's from episode 100 that we did back. We recorded that in November, came out in December, and in case you missed it, that happened at the end of the episode where we announced that the podcast was officially on hiatus. And so that's where we're at now. As I'm recording this, it is January 23rd, 2024. And indeed, the podcast is still on a hiatus. So initially what we did is while she was here, we actually recorded an additional video to tag on to what was supposed to come out today. And it was supposed to be a longer, more in-depth explanation of what's going on and what to expect and everything like that. But in all my glory and wisdom, I've somehow managed to lose the footage of it. So I spoke to Savannah about it, and she's fine with me just doing this right now and explaining things like this. Although she pretty much gives the details on her end and what's going on with her in that video, so you can watch it again. But I'll just tell you right now, just as a kind of like the long short of it, is that she is stepping away from the podcast for an indefinite amount of time to focus on some personal things in her life that she needs to take care of. Again, I don't want to say too much, and I don't personally know too much myself. You know, she doesn't have to divulge all her secrets or anything like that. But as it stands, she does plan on coming back. There is no timeline for that right now. And as I said, we recorded that 2 months ago, and as of right now, there still is no update on that. So just it's still kind of in hold for a while, but that's all I can really say about it. And I will say too that it is pretty confirmed that she is coming back. As far as I can tell, things can change, but we talked about this a long time ago in November, and it started off with her stepping away completely. Then it went up to the idea that she is okay with the idea of a hiatus, and then the third whole section of it was that she wanted to do a hiatus because she wanted to come back. So it was more progressively positive, and that's where I believe we still are. Like, nothing's really changed from that. So if she hadn't come back, then chances are I would have to find out how to do this all on my own after a while, completely just like repackage this whole podcast as a one-person show, because I don't think I could do it as a two-person show at this point. 100 episodes in, I got to bring in someone else, build a whole new chemistry, and then questions arise. What do I do with Savannah's half of the list? Do I just retire that and start brand new? Do I negate everything she's ever done? Like, I don't really want to do any of those things. But thankfully, as I said right now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have to think about it. She is coming back. It's indefinite. We don't know. I've joked with her about, oh, you have to be back before we do the next Pearl Jam album for our anniversary. But that's neither here nor there. It was just a joke. She can take as long as she needs, and that's what's going to happen. So I've made this video to explain what's going to be happening with Rate the Record in her absence. Since, you know, we are the Rate the Record podcast, it's the basis of the channel, and if we can't do that for a while, what's going to be happening? And I guess there's a couple of things I'll kind of dig into. First off is that, yes, I will still be producing content, non-podcast related, so I'm not doing like full-on album reviews, track breakdowns, ranking, rating. Like, no. I'm waiting for her to come back for that, because I'm not going to be doing it on my own. I'll be producing a lot more content, which I'll get into momentarily. But on top of that, too, just in case you weren't aware, I also made the announcement that the RTR Club is temporarily closed. That was our $5 a month club that you can join just for bonus stuff, early access to stuff, and everything like that. It just didn't feel right to keep that going while we aren't doing the show together. So I figured it'd just be an idea to keep it closed for now, and then maybe sometime down the road we'll open it back up. You can still donate to Ko-fi if you want to. It's just like a one-time optional thing at this point. Yeah, the club is gone, so I'll just get that out of the way first, and I guess I could just start talking about the content then. And I will start this off by directing this completely at the audio listeners first, because this is also going to go out on the audio streaming platforms as well, since it's an update on the podcast itself. So if you're listening to this out in the audio world and you're not watching this on YouTube right now, may I suggest that maybe you stick around to YouTube for a little while. If you do like what we do, I got some bad news. There's not going to be anything to upload for a while. We don't upload any other content to the audio platforms, so it's going to all be on YouTube. So if you like anything that we do and you like the style things that we do, then you can come on over to YouTube and check out what we do. Again, check your description. There's a link down there, or just go to ratetherecord.ca. You'll find the links that you need to. And subscribe over there, follow us for a while, and then when the podcast comes back, you're more than free to go back to the streaming platform. So I'll say that because it's very important. You're not going to see us on like Spotify or Apple or anything for quite a while, so just thought I'd throw that out there. So again, with podcasts not happening, anything about the podcast is not happening in Savannah's absence. What will be happening while she's gone? Well, first off, two just kind of main staples that we already do. We'll continue on. First off, the NMRs, the new music review videos that we usually both do. I will be doing those weekly by myself, so every single week I'll bring one out, so that way there's at least that kind of content coming out. I'm still looking at music at the very least, so it's still good. And I'm doing 4 tracks instead of 3 because 3 was just easier since we also had the plan for the podcast, but since we're not doing that now, it's a lot easier to look at an extra track. So I'm going to try out 4, and if that works out, maybe I'll move to 5, maybe I'll go back to 3, I don't know, but I'm going to run with 4 for a while and see what happens. I've done 2 already, and I kind of like the format of it, so probably going to stick to that for a little while. And another one of our staples that I'm going to try to bring back with more frequency is the ILTS videos. I love this song, the series that we do occasionally on the channel, usually like during season breaks or the end of seasons and everything like that. We usually do an ILTS video each. I just recently did one on the Dillinger Escape Plan. Savannah was going to have one done too, but she's not as much a priority right now, and if she says she can't get it done right now, I'm not going to pester her or anything like that. So maybe you'll see one come out from her in like the next month or 2, maybe. It's hard to say. And if it does, that doesn't mean she's back yet, but it's just something she had to kind of put off for a little while. But I will continue to do them, and I'm thinking of trying to do it monthly to kind of monthly. It's because those videos require a lot of production, and as I've done more of those ILTS videos, the production on them has gotten bigger, and I've kind of found more of an idea of what I want to do and how I want to present it. And they're also very research heavy, and I just got to do like a lot of breakdown kind of stuff, so it takes a long time to plan for those videos. So I think once a month is fair, especially considering, again, this channel's not full-time. I have a full-time job. I have a relationship, and I've just got other things in my life going on, so I can't like do one of those a week. It would be like insane to do. But at least once a month, I'm looking to do that. So at some point in February, you'll see another one come out, and then hopefully another one in March and April and everything like that. I have a bunch of songs lined up to do for it, so I think that could be fun. And those ones seem to do very well too. People tend to really like that kind of content. And once again, thank you everyone for getting our first 10,000 plus view video on the Queens of the Stone Age. I love this song video that I did. That's amazing that it reached that far and that many people, and that they all liked it. So thank you very much for checking it out if you did. All right, so weekly NMRs and potentially monthly ILTS videos. What else could I possibly do? Because that's only 2 pieces of content, and that's not exactly enough to keep a channel afloat. Understandable. So there are some ideas I have kind of floating around right now, and I'm going to kind of share it with you. Not exactly what the content is, but the ideas behind them. So there's a bunch of like bonus content that we were going to do in the RTR club to post, and it was going to be like a lot of solo content between the two of us. Like she would do her own, I would do my own. It would be uploaded there, and boom, just bonus random stuff. We didn't get around to a lot of it just because we were both pretty busy, but I think now that I have time on my hands with this whole channel, I'm going to produce stuff and just put it out on YouTube for free. Since, you know, the RTI club is closed right now, it won't matter too much anyways. So you can expect kind of stuff like that. It's going to be music related still, probably rating and ranking related as well. You know, just as a random example, like I'm brainstorming a bunch of stuff, but just one off the top of my head, like I was going to do this whole thing of like judging albums just by their covers alone, like the don't judge a book by its cover thing, but for albums. And then I was just going to rank it S to F of whether or not I would listen to it based on the album art alone. So that's just one idea that I had, and I think that'd be like a lot of fun to do. It'd be pretty interesting and everything like that. And I will continue on that point in a moment because I want to just continue on with other pieces of content that I have. Actually, realistically, that kind of ties in with a lot of things I have to say next too. First off, with that idea too, I had this thing in my head that maybe I could attempt to collab with other YouTubers, you know, like there's no guarantee that any of them would want to, but I mean, that doesn't mean I won't put the invitation out there. I have a few in mind that I want to reach out to, and I have specific ideas for those people. So hopefully, potentially in the future, we see some collabs here on the channel. Maybe you'll see some familiar faces within the music sphere of everything like that. But I don't know. I don't want to say that it's 100%, but it's just one of those pipe dreams I'm having while I have all these creative ideas flowing around and not doing the podcast or anything like that. And I would also like to venture into live streaming too. And that kind of like really ties in with saying like I want to do all this like new bonus content stuff. I'm thinking I could like live stream it so that way all of you could be a part of it as well. And then I just put like an edited VOD out like a little later or something like that. I think that could be a lot of fun, especially from like ranking and rating things like, you know, the album cover thing. I think that could be a lot of fun to have people involved, and I would love to hear your opinions on those kinds of things. And like, oh, I'm ranking it here. Why would you rank it there? You know, I'm B-tiering it as per usual. Like that's what we do here on the show. Why do you want it any higher? So I think that would be fun. I would love to try to get into live stream. Like obviously live stream would just be like a lot of these music-based things and ranking things and rating things. Not really a gaming channel. Maybe occasionally I could try to get in something like that, but I don't guarantee anything. I don't promise anything, nor am I a very good gamer at much at all these days. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still kind of tossing that around, but live streaming on here on YouTube, I think would be a really fun idea and a great way to kind of like talk to all of you at once rather than just through comments and everything like that. So if that sounds like a good idea, let me know, because I'm more than happy to like try to dig into that and see if we can get something to work. I'm also very much trying to utilize more social media as well. I should have been doing this a long time ago. Now, in case anyone doesn't know, I've been doing the vast majority of social media for Rate the Record since we've started. It's just something I learned in school, and I've been learning more through my job about that kind of thing. So I kind of want to get more on top of that, utilize like shorts and like, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like as we have all those things. I want to utilize them more. So I'm going to try to find things to post, ways to post them, and just to be more interactive with everybody. I think it's going to be really great. But overall, I do want some opinions moving forward. Like, what kind of content would you like to see me do? Like, not that I'm going to 100% do it, but like at this point, I'm doing so much brainstorming that maybe hearing specific ideas will give me good ideas too. So, you know, don't be afraid to kind of reach out and say, hey, it'd be cool if you did this, or hey, the live streams are cool, so do this. So, like, I don't know, anything at all. Like, I'm very curious, and I really want to continue this channel on. I want to keep it healthy in Savannah's absence, so that way when she comes back, we can just continue on like nothing ever happened. So, yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun. And that's all I have to say in this update. That's all that really needed to come out, because I wanted to speak on the near future of the channel. If there are any updates about Savannah, one of two things will happen. Either A, she will do it herself and let everyone know what's going on, or B, she'll authorize me to say one thing or another. But other than that, it's a private matter. It's still in indefinite timelines, so, you know, just let's get cozy with what's happening on the channel now. And when season 6 can or will eventually happen, trust me, you'll know with plenty of time. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get back to it. I kind of miss doing the podcast at this point, but I can only hope Savannah feels better at the end of it all, and she comes back and we're just bigger and better at this damn thing than we've ever been before. So I'm done now because I'm just rambling. So thank you very much for making it this far. If you did, I hope you stick around the channel, and I hope that you have a lot of fun with me, and I hope that you kind of interact with everything that I'm doing, because I'm very excited to try out some of these things because of how loose I'm going to get with it. So it's pretty great. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Once again, thank you very much for listening. And until I see you in whatever video I happen to do next, go listen to awesome music, because I always tell you to do that. Take care, friends.